Welcome back. We are here with Nick or Nicholas,
Nick's fine.
Nick, and he plays who?
Perry.
Perry. And tell me a little bit about Perry.
So Perry's the guy that no female ever wants to be in a relationship with at the end of the day.
And how has
He
that?
it was difficult for me at times. It's about polar opposite of my actual character in person and in life. So it was trying at points and times, to say the least.
So it definitely helped build you as an actor.
Yes, as from development stance, absolutely, because I had to step out of my comfort zone and everything that I have built for myself over my 30 years of life to, like I said, the polar opposite, being the absolute worst, not only to females, but a kid as well. And all in all, being the narcissist when I was a team player my whole life kind of brings out a whole new element to my acting display.
Okay. And through your personal life, did you have anything to draw the character from?
Yes, so I have witnessed quite a few domestics in my life. Um, Unfortunately, I have seen it first person happen multiple times, and I kind of just based my character off of those certain people that I have seen in the active life presenting themselves as an abusive man. So it wasn't very difficult for me to develop the character because I have been in situations where I was the victim, but I also have been in situations where I have seen the female be a victim and tried to step in between and stop it. So I did know how to present myself because I have witnessed it multiple times.
Makes perfect sense.
Yes.
This film, because it deals with the domestic violence, how do you think audiences will connect with that?
So I believe every single person will have a different connection with the movie because there is a wide range between domestic violence. Some of it's brutal, some of it's just verbal, there's physical. Some people have been through hell and back and they have absolutely no belief in getting out, and that's when it gets very bad. And others have never experienced it whatsoever. So I think there'll be mixed emotions and mixed connections through each and every individual, depending on how they directly correlate to domestic violence.
That's very well said. Because this is a painful but vital issue, what drew you to participate in the film with this kind of weight?
So I have, like I said, experienced it myself from the other side and a third person experience as well. So me bringing that to light helps people understand that there is always a route out. You just have to find the right support.
Into the Brink, were you provided with enough support from Sustainment TV to help create this character that is unlike you in reality?
Yes, absolutely. So from set workers to the cast, everybody freely was able to express one another and connect on a level that we trusted one another with our movements and everything that we were doing. And it was such a supportive group, and everybody kind of had their own personal opinion and personal experience with it. So we all kind of collabed and understood one another. And it actually helped with the opening up and doing the things that I know are completely wrong and that I would never do in person, but knowing my character outside of the movie, it was more accepted, and we all came together, and the sport was absolutely phenomenal.
Awesome. Were there moments during filming that felt particularly difficult to process emotionally?
Yes. Me processing the abuse was very, very difficult because I have been in that situation and I knew it's better to walk away. And for me to act it out, it goes against all my moral codes and the way I was raised. So I did have a little difficulty processing it. Once I worked through it and then just reminded myself who I actually am, it became easier with time and repetition. At first, it was a little difficult to process, yes.
So, the role you play, Perry, what did you discover about yourself during this process?
I discovered I'm actually a lot better of a person than I thought I was. Um, the fact that I did have a little bit of a battle, even though I know it's fictional from my perspective in this movie, it's not fictional for a lot of people. Um, I felt like I delivered pretty well for someone who's never actually done it in their real life. So without the actual experience and just showing everybody that you can get out of that situation, you just have to get away from the toxicness and you have to make sure you can trust, you have to make sure you believe in yourself and you can trust other people after going through such a situation as domestic violence. If you just keep yourself in that shell and continue to take the abuse, you'll never actually be able to show the world your actual value. Instead, you'll be put away, locked away, and nobody will ever actually see the actual potential you have. So, performing this taught me a lot about life, I guess I would say.
Definitely gives you a new perspective.
Yeah, way different.
Going into your next role. And how has Sustainment TV helped foster your growth?
Being a brand new position for me, and I've only been acting for a couple months now, they brought me right on. We got set. We scheduled everything, got everything set up perfect. It was a very fluent set. Everybody had their lines down. The director and the set workers were on their game the entire time. They elevated my performance by for those certain situations where I'm like, I don't really feel completely comfortable doing this. They reminded me, you can do it. Get out of your own head. We know you're not like this in real life. We need you to project this project for us and make it look as real as possible. So David, the director, was actually very good at helping me develop into that person that I have such a difficult time being.
It's always nice to work with, for sure.
Yes.
What is one thing you hope audiences will take away from this film, To the Brink?
I hope audiences take away there is always a way out. You have to get yourself out of that toxic environment. You have to get yourself out of whatever it is, whatever you're going through. You have to get over that hump and believe there is somebody that's out there to hear you out. You have to believe there are people that will help you, and you have to trust that they are there to help you. After dealing with a narcissist, after dealing with an abusive partner, you'll have to, it's hard to trust other people. So you have to be willing to open your doors to new opportunities and to meet people that you can actually trust, because there are still good people out there. No matter what you've been through, there are people that will help you and hear you out. You just have to trust that they're there for your better well-being. And once you get out of that toxic place, your growth and your actual value will finally be sought out and seen. You just have to remove yourself from that environment. Sorry.
So since we are in a boxing ring, how does boxing correlate with domestic violence?
So it is a very, very good way to release anger, to release um, tension. So whether you're the victim, I don't ever want to stand up for the abuser, obviously, but before, if that crosses your mind, if you ever go through that, speaking from the perspective of the person that was the abuser, uh, before you ever think that's a good idea, seek out boxing, seek out weightlifting, maybe running, something that you can turn to as an outlet to let that steam off, because it is never all right to put that onto your partner, anybody, but especially your partner who you're spending majority of your time with. That's just very degrading, and it puts them down in a place to where they might not be able to recover. So boxing would be a great outlet to release that anger, that tension, whatever it is that you're holding on to. It's a good way to let it go. You don't even have to take it out on another person. There's weights, there's bags, there's other stuff you can do. So I would say boxing and physicality go hand in hand. If you're ever struggling with either side of the domestic violence, it's a lot better to let loose in a ring, on a bag, never on another human being. So I think it would be a great way to release everything, tension in. So
Yeah, I was gonna say you look like you work out
I
plenty,
do,
so you might know a
yes.
few things.
A little bit, yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sitting with me, and we look forward to seeing more of you on the big screen.
Absolutely. Thank you.